Champions League time. That's right, the quarterfinals of the Concacaf Champions League are already set, and the first leg games will be played next Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's analyze the teams and reveal my predictions. First off, we have Atlanta United versus the Philadelphia Union. Atlanta will play this first leg at home, which definitely gives them an advantage now that fans are allowed back, albeit in a limited capacity. Now, Atlanta did win both legs of the round of 16, but they were by razor thin margins of 1-0 each. Defensively, they remained mostly solid. They did keep a clean sheet in their MLS opener against Orlando, but they too were also kept at 0. As the game ended in a draw at 0-0, showing that their attacks still need some work. Barco looks to be their most dangerous player, so a lot rests on whether Joseph Martinez is able to get back to his goal-scoring ways. Because it won't be easy breaking through Philly's defense, which seems rock solid at the moment. If they do manage to win, I think it's going to be again by a very thin margin, like 1-0. But even then, that can be a big ask as Philly are flying high right now. And with that, let's take a look at the Union, who also won both legs last round, but did so in a much more spectacular fashion, winning by 1 away and by 4 at home. And unlike Atlanta, all of the Union's three front attackers are looking very dangerous at the moment, with Shabilko, Montero, and Fontana all getting goals last Champions League match. And even though they were kept at bay visiting the Crew in their MLS opener, they actually outplayed them, registering more shots and taking most of the possession. And again, that was away from home. So even though they will be again away from home in this first leg, they have proven that they are not afraid to take the game to their opponents and really attack them head on, which they certainly will do against Atlanta. Plus, Atlanta continued to look shaky defensively on that left-hand side, with George Bello being caught out defensively multiple times recently. As such, that will be a weak spot that Philly can look to exploit with Fontana on the right. So, honestly, right now I'm going to go with Philadelphia to advance overall. I think Atlanta can still get a win in this first leg at home, but I don't think it will be enough. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Union get at least one away goal, and if so, that could be enough to seal it for them. As at home in the return leg, there is no way they're going to lose. So I'm choosing the Union to advance to the semis. And if so, that would be a huge disappointment for Atlanta, as they have gone all in on the Champions League this year, as we all know by keeping their players from participating in the Olympic qualifiers just last month. So it will not just be a disappointment, but also an embarrassment. And no doubt they will face a lot of ridicule if they don't manage to get this one over the line, and rightly so, in my opinion. Next up, we have Toronto versus Cruz Azul. Now, Toronto will also be at home in this first leg, and they will have to win it if they want to have a chance at making it through to the semifinals, as their away form has been poor. Yes, they drew away at Leon last round, but that was only because of an own goal. And they just got thrashed away at Montreal 4-2. Now, yes, Cruz Azul was kept at bay by RKAFC in their away match as well, but they more than made up for it in the return leg at home. They are also currently top of the table in their domestic league, with 12 wins out of 15, only 2 losses. They also recently managed to get a goal against second place team America away from home as well, showing they are more than able to at least get a draw in this first match away from home. But regardless, I see Cruz Azul completely blowing Toronto out of the water in the return leg. So I'm going with Cruz Azul to advance. Toronto was able to get past Leon, but they aren't really playing that well at the moment. And even then, it was just barely. No way they make it past Cruz Azul. Next, we have Columbus versus Monterrey. Now, while Columbus did very well last round, winning both legs, that was against much weaker opposition. And as mentioned, when they played against the Union in their MLS opener, they were kept at 0-0, and that was at home. The first match against Monterrey will also be at home, but as demonstrated, they can struggle against tougher opposition. But still, they are a good team, and I expect them to create plenty of chances. It will all come down to how clinical they can be in front of goal. If they are too wasteful, then this one can easily end in a draw or even a loss for them. Monterrey is also a strong team, but they have been in a bit of a poor run of form lately. While they did well in the last round of the Champions League, that too was against much weaker opposition. But they are currently struggling in their domestic league, losing their last 3 Liga MX matches and getting red cards in the last 2. So not really inspiring a lot of confidence going into this crucial away match for them. But if they can cut back on the defensive mistakes and avoid the silly red cards, they will definitely make things very difficult for Columbus. They still have plenty of attacking power and more than enough to pick up a win here. So, who do I go with? Honestly, this is probably the hardest one to call because both teams are overall good teams but have given some cause for concern lately. It's very close and it can really go either way. But since I have to pick one, I think Columbus just narrowly beats out Monterrey based on current form. Normally, I'd go with Monterrey, but again, based on recent performances, I think Columbus is just barely ahead of them. Could easily end up being wrong, but right now, I'm going with Columbus. Portland has done very well at home as shown by the 5-0 thumping they gave Marathon last round, but they did lose their first MLS match against Vancouver. However, that was a close game with high intensity. And Portland at the very least should have tied that game with Asprilla having a clear shot to goal after poor clearance from the goalkeeper, but instead of simply heading it into the net, he chose to go for the flashy overhead kick and sent it high over the bar, showing that sometimes it's best to keep things simple and efficient. But Portland are still a good team, with Chara and Valeri more than capable of creating a few chances and getting a goal or two. We did see Olympia overwhelm America at times in the last game, and Portland can look to do the same, and with some better finishing, they can definitely come away with a win, especially at home. And America, well, honestly, they did surprise me with how much they struggled against Olympia last round, and it showed that they can be countered effectively and pushed back. And so far in this tournament, America are not the dominant side I thought they would be. That said, they are doing very well in their domestic league, going on a 7-game win streak after losing the Atlas back in February and recently drew against league leaders Cruz Azul in their last match, which left them second in the table with just 2 points less. So, Club America are still very much a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, this one is also very close to call. Portland, on their day, have shown that they are capable of dominating and racking up the goals. And America have shown that they can be beaten even at home by a weaker side. I have to choose one. My heart says Portland, but my head says America. But you know what? One of my best friends is a big America fan, and I would love to see his face if they lose. So let's go with Portland. Another MLS upset. What? I know, I'm just as surprised as you. Will I get this right? Probably not. Honestly, those last two can go either way, but I'm very confident about my first two picks. So let me know who are your picks for making it through to the semifinals and why. Please don't forget to like and comment as it really does help promote the channel and get it noticed more. Thanks for watching. This is American Soccer United, the place where American soccer fans unite.